Hey guys, welcome back to Release the Craftin. We're still here for day 3 of the Season of the Witch challenge, and today we are doing the prompt potion. And because I thought it would be really fun to sort of think of potions in sort of a out-of-the-box abstract sort of way, but not really, and you'll see what I mean. But I hope that you guys are enjoying this challenge. It has definitely been a lot of fun. I know we're only a couple of days into it, but they go by so fast that like I just want to touch bases a little bit here and there while we still have the time. Also, realize that I stuck my paper down upside down, and this glue adheres really quickly, so it got a little bit dicey, but it works. Fortunately, it peeled off very cleanly, so I was able to stick it back down without any issues. But pay attention is all I can say if you're doing this along with me, especially if you're doing these envelopes, because whew, that could have been catastrophic. Not really, I would just had to cover it up with another piece of paper. But what I decided to do was to not make this a pocket like I did the first 2 days, where I had like a side loading pocket and a top loading pocket. I decided instead to make this a flip out page on the back, or what will essentially be the back of this thing. And so I'm just gonna use the same paper that I used for the back and cut out a little extra overhang and then score a little tab so that it will I'll be able to stick it underneath in that gap I cut open on the envelope. And then I'm just gonna back it with some of this extra dyed paper so that there's some writing space, because like I said, I wanted this to be writable. It's also probably could double as a photo space. Honestly, this paper is so cool, it sort of works on its own. And as per usual, we're inking everything up with black archival ink to add that nice witchy vibe. And what I'm going to end up doing once I get everything really well inked up is using the little tab on the bottom to slide it into that opening and glue that down so it sort of looks like we made a seamless flip out, even though we didn't, because I have extra paper here. If you guys will see, you'll see the process. It's gonna come together. So I trimmed a little bit off the edges so that there's no overhang or interruptions with our folds or anything like that. And then I'm going to stick this down and then stick this paper down to the final thing, so it all looks very seamless, like it was always like that. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the pattern to match up on the scrapbook paper without going to some crazy lengths, but it works. I think the illusion is there that it's all one piece, and that's plenty. That's absolutely plenty. And then I'm going to use this little bit of Tim Holtz ephemera. It says Curious on it if you can't see. And I'm going to punch a hole through that, and then punch a hole through our envelope, only one side. So be careful with that, so that we have a little swing tab here so that we can keep this flap closed when we don't need it to be open. I don't know why that needed to be said. And then I'm going to reseal the envelope. But oh yeah, I'm going to add in some lace. I forgot what I did. I meant to use a lot more lace than I did on this project, all of these projects, but I just could not figure out ways to squeeze lace in there without it being obnoxious, so I didn't use as much as I had planned to. I pulled a bunch of black lace for it and just didn't get to use as much as I wanted to, but maybe when I get to the cover and stuff, I'll be able to add some more to it and get those lacy vibes that I was hoping for. Ooh, and because this is potions, and this cool mirror is like a callback to our spell mirror, and has all these cool grungy looking old bottles around it, I thought it really worked for the spell prompt as sort of a maybe countryside witches sort of setup as she's working and she's looking in her mirror and speaking spells and doing all sorts of stuff. I can't read what this word says, and I could just look at the thing right next to me. Oh, it says hexes and spells. Yeah, that's appropriate. I think it works really well. And then I have these creepy girls from an old paper doll collection from Tim Holtz. And I wanted to make them not just creepy, but curious, because that's the word that I used on the tab. So I wanted to tie it all together and do a little collage just for the back piece so that there's some visual interest back there. So to go into the story, I guess, of our witch, since we already talked about her ancestors, I'm going to say that these are just like some creepy spirits that are following her around, these creepy girls. And she's working with them to do her magic. Maybe trying to figure out why they're following her around. I don't know. I didn't really develop this story. But that's what I got so far. And then I'm just adding in some papers to sort of tie everything together, because I used this same moon phase paper on the front, the first page. And I think I actually end up using it again at some point too, just to make everything very cohesive. It's a very cool paper, so definitely fun to use. And then some of this like dyed crinkly paper. And I think I pull out one of these labels. I don't use this, like the stickers in this sticker book very often. I use the words, but not the actual stickers that it comes with, so I wanted to rectify that and use some of these words. Or these labels from this sticker pad. So we're going to get them glued down. They're going to look really nice and cool up against there. Trim off the excess. That swing tab is doing the work, and I love it. And then we're going to add a little bit more, a little pop of color. Because, you know, surprisingly, there was more color in these papers than I originally anticipated. So I got to work with more colors than I thought. Especially since I used color on the first page. I wanted to be able to bring it back. This is another, this is actually a Patreon exclusive. So sorry, that's not going to be in any shop. But it's just a set of words that I gave to my followers a couple months back. It's an older sheet set, but I love this sheet set because it's just words I had in my brain at the time, and it's been very useful. But this one says invocation, I believe. I could look with my eyes since I have it right here. And then I have these stickers from the Dollar Tree that somebody gave me like ages and ages ago. And I have never used them for anything, even though she gave them specifically because they reminded her of like Witchy's like potion bottles. And I was like, yeah, they totally do. And then just stuck them in my stash and was like, I can never use these because they're so cool. So I'm using them now because they do look like Witchy potion bottles and they're really cool and they should be used. So I have some of these specimen slides that I cut out of that really cool moon phase paper. That moon phase paper got used up for sure. And then I have these little like sticker, like little tiny sticker, like aesthetic photo stickers. Words are so hard today, guys. That I thought would be like the essence of the spells and the potions that we're making. So I thought that would be like really cute in there. And then I decided to make the specimen cards themselves into tags, like little pockets to hold tags. So that's what I did. And I'm just cutting down some of this handmade paper to size so I can make the little tag insert that we're going to make. And as you can see, I punched out some more tabs so that I have something to pull out of our pockets. And then we have a little bit of that leftover acetate to make the window for our specimen cards here. And essentially those potion bottles are translucent, and I didn't want them to be translucent, so I just backed them with some white paper and then fussy cut them out. They're really simple shapes, so the fussy cutting wasn't a big pain, and our supervisor has made a return. And I can hear you guys out there already. He's a supervisor. I got it. I know. He definitely is. And his tail was definitely in everything, including the ink and the glue. So, you know, we had a fun conversation with a wet washcloth after this, and he was not happy, but it's the consequences of being in this industry. He knows the price of working in this field. We're just going to make a little tiny tags like to go behind the specimen cards on our page. And if you want to not make the same mistakes that I did, you will ink up your paper before you glue it together, because once you glue in on the tab, you have to go back and awkwardly ink over that one edge that you can't reach because you stuck a tab on it. So avoid my mistake and do what you will. And yeah, I think I keep these pretty simple. I don't think I put anything on them. So there's a little bit of tiny writing space. Oh, I put something on the tabs though. I did that. And I guess it should be said, I don't talk about it a lot, but you can resize all the images that I put in my shop. This is not in my shop, so it's not relevant to this conversation. But you can resize them to get smaller words and stuff. So I like to make things big so that you can resize it smaller. They're all JPEGs. People ask me all the time for smaller versions so that they can make smaller things. They're JPEGs, so they're resizable. I don't think I've ever mentioned that. And then we're going to cut these little acetate scraps down to size so that they can make our windows. And then I'm going to add in these images. And these images are actually stickers, but I didn't want them to be stickers. I wanted it to be a pocket, so I needed it to stay intact so that they would function continuously as a pocket. Otherwise, I would have just glued them down to the back and it would have been fine, but I wanted them to be the visible image because I didn't do anything interesting with the tags. But I am going to use a little bit of washi tape just to keep that the edges of that sticker and the acetate from like catching anything, so that whatchamadoodle stuff slides in and out easily, which will become unnecessary as I decide that I want to close them, I believe, with these little tiny brads, which end up being the wrong size. They're super teeny tiny and they fall right through, and then I go, what a fool. So all that little picking out, useless. We must continue to pick out more, and I didn't make you guys watch me do it twice. And here's where I remembered that they had to be pockets, so I had to wipe off some glue, which is sort of a running theme for this entire project, is I forget something needs to be a pocket or open, and I glue it together. But don't worry, I've caught myself every single time, so a round of applause for me. So I'm going to ink these up and make sure that the pocket is available. I could not remember if I glued these together or not, so yeah, the washi tape was essential. It was essential. Because that pocket's going to get worked over with those tags. And then I'm going to punch some holes through the openings that the punch made, and then fasten in these brads. I wish I could do it this quickly. Honestly, watching these videos sped up, I always just get so envious of how quick this process is. Because if I was this fast, I would be unstoppable. Like, I wish I could be like a fraction of this fast. Which I guess technically I am a fraction of this, but the fraction is like 1/1,000,000th. And that's sad. But, cute little pockets. I really love these. So one says healing and the other one says glamour, and I think that works with the images of that like misty moon imagey background for healing, and then this like little romantic rose vignette for glamour. And then I have these vellum like little wildflower die cuts that I wanted to use up, so I think they add like an ethereal ghostly nature to these bottles, and I didn't want it to look like these bottles were a vase but they sort of end up looking like a vase, contrary to all my efforts. But the plants still come out really cool looking. I really like how this vellum looks up against these backgrounds and stuff. It gives a very ghostly nature to everything. But then we have our little potion bottle. So there's our little glamour potion. And then our little potion for healing. And then we have our like little creepy spirit girls on the backside guarding our altar of potion bottles, which is cool. And that's everything I did for this one, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed the video. Definitely stay tuned to see what we do tomorrow for the challenge. And I will catch you guys all then. Until next time, guys, happy crafting. I don't know if I said it, but I appreciate your faces. I really do. Bye.